All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we're going to talk about Matt Ryan, him announcing his retirement after 15 seasons in the NFL. Most of that was with the Falcons. He did spend that 1 year with the Indianapolis Colts. Don't forget about that. And I think he kind of wants to forget about it. But he also did play for the Colts as well. And he released a video message thanking the Falcons organization. He did. I think he signed a 1 day contract to retire as a Falcon, so that was nice. But yeah, again, it's another quarterback. I grew up watching, and many others did. That's officially retiring, and it's sad. It's sad because it's really changing of the guard. You got all these young quarterbacks now. The Falcons. I mean, they were hoping Desmond Ridder was going to be the guy, but he's out. So now Kirk Cousins, you bring in $180 million later, with $100 million guaranteed, and he's going to be the guy moving forward. And for the Falcons, you hope that with him and the young weapons that they have, that they could take that next step and be a really good team in 2024, which I think they will be a good team with Kirk Cousins. But, we'll see how it goes. But with Matt Ryan, he finished his career with almost 63,000 passing yards, 381 touchdowns, 183 receptions, and a career passer rating of 93.6. He made 4 Pro Bowls. He was one All-Pro team and holds the 2016 MVP and Offensive Player of the Year awards. That 2016 season was really good for him, that MVP season. And actually, something I haven't done in a while, and that is a graphic, because we do have Matt Ryan's career accolades as well. I made sure to include that today. So let's get we'll talk about the tips towards the end of the segment. But so this is Matt Ryan's career here. So in 2016, played in all 16 games, an 11-5 record, almost 5,000 yards passing for him. 38 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. And they finished as the 2 seed that season. The Cowboys were the 1, and they lost to the Packers. The Falcons had a bye. That was back when, the 1 and the 2 had byes. Now we don't have that anymore because they expanded the playoffs. But yeah, they beat the Seahawks, and they dismantled the Packers. That was upsetting to watch as an Aaron Rodgers fan. But the Falcons, again, that offense was really good that season. You had Julio Jones. I almost said Calvin Ridley, but that was actually Taylor Gabriel. You had Austin Hooper and Mohamed Sanu back when he was a good wide receiver, back when he was productive. That was a good team. And also you had Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman running the ball out of the backfield. That was a good Falcons team, and they got to the Super Bowl, and we all know what happened there. But you have that, and then 2012, that was another good year for them. They were 13-3. They were the 1 seed that season. Matt Ryan, the interceptions actually were high, 14 interceptions, but 32 touchdowns, 4,719 yards passing, and they had a chance to go to the Super Bowl that year, and they collapsed against the 49ers. The 49ers had a comeback win against them, so they lost that game. And then also, I think they were the 1 seed again in 2010, and that was when the Packers, as a 6 seed, went in there and they beat them. And Matt Ryan had 28 touchdowns to 9 interceptions that season. So Matt Ryan, when it came to the big games, it wasn't he wasn't very successful there. But I think for the majority of his career, he had a solid career. He put up some good numbers in certain years. I mean, you look at some of the other years where the Falcons weren't good. The interceptions were high, but I mean, I think in the beginning of his career, the Falcons were always a competitive team. They made the playoffs basically every year, but they just couldn't get it done. They had the chance, like I said, in 2016 against the Patriots, but again, we all know what happened there. So that begs the question, though: is Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer? And I mean, I feel like I feel like he'll get in, but I think him not having a Super Bowl, I think, really does hurt his chances. But I mean, I feel like we live in an age now where like basically everybody gets in for the most part. So I think he will get in at some point. It might just take some time, but we'll see. Um, but one thing I saw, CBS's Instagram account posted this, so I wanted to mention that. I hope I didn't delete it because I had. Oh yeah, here it is. So he is one of 5 quarterbacks in NFL history with 60,000 passing yards and an NFL MVP. Tom Brady. He joins Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and Dan Marino. That's good company. It's very good company. Now again, I don't think that's going to be make or break for him to make the Hall of Fame, but when you're on a list like that, I mean, that definitely helps your case out. And like I said, I think he will get in, but it's tough because especially without him having a Super Bowl. But let me know what you guys think about that. If Matt Ryan deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, I mean, I feel like he will get in, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me saying that. So I wanted to. So I know Matt Ryan had a couple of things to say. So let me just. I wanted to read some of the quotes from him. Let's see if I can find them. I thought they did have some quotes in here from him. Actually, yeah. Hold on. I think it's this from this article that I have, because he did sign the 1-year contract with the Falcons. So I wanted to. Yeah. So this is what he said. One of the things he said. He said it was a hell of a ride. I'm excited to see what's next. This next chapter of life and see where that takes us. But today it's exciting for me because you never have control in this profession of where you're going to start, and I could not have been luckier than that. It was a start here in Atlanta, and it went for 14 years, and now I can bookend it and retire as a Falcon today. So that was nice what he had to say. And then, of course, I did it and someone else did it, bringing up the Super Bowl championship, or the Super Bowl against the Patriots. He says, it hurts. I think that it's one of the things that is always a part of you, right? Falling short of what you ultimately set out to do is tough, but that's life. There's so many things in your life that are going to go that way. You got to pick up and move on. I remember seeing a Winston Churchill quote, success isn't final and failure isn't fatal. What counts is the courage to continue on. And then this is something that, and then Arthur Blank had some comments on him as well. When I was going back and reading these notes and getting ready for today, it amazed me in the 14 years that we were graced with Matt Ryan as our franchise quarterback and leader, really what he's accomplished. This is an exceptional football player, but probably more exceptional as a human being, as a husband, as a father, and as a great friend. He's been a beloved friend to me for that period of time, to my whole family. They view Matt as kind of one of their own, and he is one of our own. He's certainly one of Atlanta's own. It's a great honor for me to be here today to represent our franchise and having Matt end his career as an Atlanta Falcon. And went through a few head coaches during his time. I forgot about Mike Smith, 2008 to 2014. Dan Quinn from 2015 to 2020. And then, of course, Arthur Smith was the final head coach for Matt Ryan. And then, actually, also Raheem Morris as well was the interim coach in 2020 after Quinn was let go. And then he went to Indianapolis and finished with a 4-7-1 record there. So, yeah, I mean, you were kind of hoping that Matt Ryan would eventually get that Super Bowl ring, but that just never ended up happening. And, Indianapolis was desperate for quarterbacks. I mean, with Andrew Luck retiring, they went to Carson Wentz, and then they went to Matt Ryan, and they actually did beat the Chiefs that year. They got off to that bad again, they didn't finish with a great record, but they did beat the Chiefs. I think it was week 3? And you're like, oh, maybe the Colts will turn it around now. It ended up not happening. But, again, Matt Ryan is, again, one of those guys that, during the 2010s, you grew up watching and, was a solid quarterback. like I said, there were some rough years in there. But, again, one of those guys that, he played the game the right way and, was surrounded by great players. I mean, whether it was Julio Jones and Tony Gonzalez, Roddy White. It's just, the Falcons were just that team that never took that next step. But, like I said, Matt Ryan played the game the right way. He's going to be missed on the field. He's going to continue to be a broadcaster with CBS. Does a good job there. And, yeah, I wish him nothing but the best in the next chapter of his life as we have another player stepping away from the game. You had Jason Kelsey. You had Aaron Donald retiring. Well, Fletcher Cox as well. And Matt Ryan is another one of those players that is going to be stepping away. So, it's sad. It's sad. You got more guys walking away, but it happens. That's just inevitable at this point. So, but like I said, wish him nothing but the best in retirement, and like I said, going to continue to be a broadcaster, and so you'll still see him, just not on the football field. But so that let me know what you guys think about Matt Ryan, his career. What was your favorite Matt Ryan moment? And do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame? Let me know in the comments. So when we come back from our second break of the show, we'll talk about another quarterback that was traded that I talked about yesterday, and he ended up getting traded, of course, when I finished doing the show, and that's Zach Wilson. The Jets finally traded him, and he is going to be going to the Denver Broncos. So I'll talk about that when we come back from our second break of the show. But before I do that, just want to remind you guys again, and I got to do this now. So give me a second. Oh, wait. There we go. All right, so tip or donate, get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the following link. That is GSMCPodcast.net. Again, that really helps the show. Makes the show more interactive between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. Again, that is GSMCPodcast.net. And as always, it is displayed on the ticker at the bottom of the show segment down below. So, yeah, like I said, when we come back from our second break of the show, we'll talk about the Jets trading Zach Wilson to the Broncos. I'll get into that when we return from our second break. So, with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.